Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/maliciouscompliance, where people conform to the letter but not the spirit of a request. If you're new around here, please do hit subscribe down below so that you never miss out on another video. But for now, let's sit back, relax and enjoy some malicious compliance. You told us to! This story is about compliance, and I definitely felt malicious when it happened. Whether or not it is malicious is up to the reader. I work for a company that provides people who work in food service roles to other businesses. Basically, if, for example, McDonald's does not want to hire people to work for them directly, then they would hire my company to bring in work in McDonald's. This way, the people are on my company's payroll and not McDonald's. My company has me and my supervisor working inside a small convenience store-like area in a college campus. We have coffee, ready-made sandwiches that are delivered to us every day, and even soup available to the students. Now, for our area, we get the same kids coming in every day since we are their only food source besides vending machine within walking distance. So my supervisor and I quickly figure out how much the kids will eat of what and make our order accordingly. Of course, there is some fluctuation in what is consumed, but we are fairly accurate on ordering, so there is not much food waste. One day, the director, who is our manager's boss, decided that we don't have enough sandwiches in our fridges for the kids to eat. He was the one who told us before to try and keep wasted sandwiches, ones the kids didn't buy before they expired, as low as possible. Now he tells my supervisor to double the amount of sandwiches ordered so the shelves look full so we can sell more. We tried to tell him that by doing so, the amount of sandwiches that will expire and therefore be wasted will dramatically increase, which means that we will be losing more money. He tells us to do it anyway, and that it will be fine. So, my supervisor shrugs her shoulders and does it. In the next few days, the increased amount of food starts to show up and the fridge is full. We stuff it more full than a pickle jar, and we still have extra left over. So all we can do is put the extra in the back fridge that we use to store extra drinks and food that have to stay refrigerated. Despite assurance that it will be fine, all was not. The extra food piled up quickly, and due to the way the sandwiches are made, we are not allowed to keep them longer than 2 days. Food waste soars as the kids, despite having a full fridge of extra sandwiches to choose from, in fact did not buy all that food. Any extra that may have been bought did not offset the money wasted from the expired food. Usually, when we ordered food, there were no more than 10 sandwiches left over by the end of the day. Those left over would be bought usually before the next day's shipment came in, so we normally had very little that expired on us. Due to the increase of sandwiches, we were now dealing with close to 20 to 30 expired sandwiches a day. This went on for 2 weeks. The next time the director showed up, he had his boss, the head director, with him along with other people high up in the corporate chain. They showed up when I was working alone, and it seemed the director was giving the other high-ups a tour of our area, since he didn't even acknowledge that I was there. This didn't bother me, since I know the ways of higher-ups, and when they are discussing business, counter-monkeys like me are less than invisible. I don't really care for this director since he is too hands-on and acts like he knows what he is doing while giving out orders that tend to contradict other orders that he gives. Yet, when we try to communicate with him about rules or concerns, it is a one-way street. He also tends to make promises that never happen, which ticks off a lot of people under him. So, as he is talking to the higher-ups, he suddenly calls out to me, "Hey, Jake! Why do you have so many sandwiches left over and wasted from the last 2 weeks?" Knowing that things would end up bad for me later if I outright threw him under the bus with his bosses present, I decided to try and be tactful and give him a chance to change the subject. "We were told to double up on the sandwich orders, sir," I respectfully say. The other bosses stop talking and are paying attention to our conversation now. The director puts his hands on his hips and leveled a squint at me. "Well, who told you to do that?" he demanded in a huff while puffing his chest out like a banty rooster. Without batting an eye, I answer him like the good little employee that I am, and without any maliciousness at all. "You told us to." His eyes widen and he repeats back questionably, "I told you to?" Nodding, I chirp back, "Yes sir, 2 weeks ago. He splutters for a bit and hastily leads the bosses to another area under his control. While I knew they were gone, I let myself have a good laugh. I savoured the fact that he did this to himself in front of his bosses, and first chance I got, I told my supervisor. She also had a hearty laugh over it. Within the next couple of days, we were allowed to order sandwiches the way we normally did. I'll never understand why they like big top bosses that own huge chains. Like, why do they think they know what's going on the front level? Because obviously the people that work there are gonna know like 10 times better what to do, so just listen to them. Less ice? If you say so. I'm a barista at a small coffee shop, and we do blended drinks. Basically, just pick a drink off the menu and add the word frozen to it, and we'll pour over ice and then blend. And it takes a decent amount of ice since you're going for the blended, slushy texture. It doesn't affect the taste unless you let the drink melt and get all watered down. I get to work and this woman is already at the register while my co-worker tells her it'll be a minute because she's in the middle of a drink. I walk behind the counter, go to the office to drop my stuff off and clock on, and this woman sees me and immediately starts saying, Hey, can I order?" I say it'll be a minute as I'm still carrying my bag and my coat, obviously not in a position to be making drinks. My co-worker tells her again that she'll be with her in a second, as soon as she is finished with the drink she's making first. I drop off my stuff and venture out to the tills to clock on, and the woman again starts talking to me and rattling off questions when I haven't even clocked in yet, and was clocking in early just so that she wouldn't have to wait for my co-worker to finish up. The conversation goes as follows. "Do you have any blended drinks?" "Oh yeah, it's, blended. Like with ice and blended together." "Yes, as I was saying, we do. It's our frozen drinks on the blended drinks. They're called frappes. Ever heard of them?" is what I imagine she was saying in her head. Me, tired of her cutting me off every time I tried to explain and finally able to get her to stop talking. Yes, we do. Our frozen drinks, how are those made?" Which was a dumb question, since she was just over-explaining a blended drink to me and cutting me off when I tried to point out the options on the menu. Just like the normal base drink, then we fill it with ice and blend it. Large blended latte, light ice. I don't take the light ice comment too seriously, since any blended drink relies on a full cup size of ice to give it the blended texture. I just figured I'll level the ice in the cup rather than heap a mound over the top. She pays and steps back, and I pour ice into the cup all the way to the brim, which is less than we do normally for blended drinks. The customer practically hops over the counter and screams, "Excuse me, I said light ice." I turn to her with a look on my face and explain that this is less ice, because normally for blended drinks we use way more, and if I used less ice than what I had, the drink would just be an iced latte with ice dust in it. Her, not even listening to me or comprehending what I said, "Less ice." I smile, say, "Okay," and pour out most of the ice until it only fills a third of the cup. Let me reiterate again, we normally use a cup and a half of ice for blended drinks to give it that blended texture, which is the entire point of ordering a blended drink. I was using less than a third of the ice I was supposed to put in for a normal serving. I fill her cup with milk and the espresso shots and pour the mixture into the blender. I watch as the blender just chops up the total of 5 ice cubes until it's just ice dust, which melts right into the espresso, and out of the blender comes a very frothy, no ice to be seen, cold but not that cold latte. I pour the iceless drink into the plastic cup and slide it out onto the bar. "Frozen latte with a light ice," I call out, and watch as the woman looks up from her phone to see the cold, iceless latte on the counter, with me smiling at her. She looks like she's confused at the drink's texture, and almost as if she's going to say something, until I say, "I hope there wasn't too much ice in there. I took most of it out like you asked." She takes the drink and leaves. Enjoy your frothy, watery, not that cold because there wasn't enough ice, latte. It would have been amazing if the woman just said, "Oh, less ice," and she just put like 1 ice cube in the top and then blended it. That'd be funny. Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like on it and subscribe if you aren't already. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.